Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In Romans chapter 9 through 11, the Apostle Paul kind of discusses God's plan in connection to the Jews and the Gentiles, how God was presently hardening the hearts of the Jews in order for the gospel to be spread to the Gentiles. But even in that, God was going to use the Gentiles then to win back the Jews, and so that he could show mercy to all. And the Apostle Paul gets caught up in the splendor and the greatness of God's wisdom and knowledge at the end of chapter 11. And he makes this statement that's very interesting in verse 36. He says, "For from him and through him and to him are all things. To him be the glory forever. Amen." This statement seems to have implications for the past, the present, and the future. It says, "For from him are all things," which seems to be alluding to the past, in that everything that currently exists, all of reality as we know it, was brought into existence through God at some point in the past. And of course, we read about that in Genesis chapter 1, that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. But then also presently, things are sustained through him. It says, "Through him are all things," which seems to be talking about the present, that through him, all that we have, all that we gain, every blessing that we have is through him. He is the giver of all things good in our lives. And through him, we exist and continue to exist. And the universe continues to be sustained. But then we could also say the future is in connection to the last part of that, where it says, "And to him are all things." In other words, everything eventually makes its way back to God in one way or the other. And of course, we will make our way to God in the end. And when God brings about the resurrection and we are able to dwell with him forever, we'll return back to him. But the idea here is that everything is moving in the direction of God, so to speak. And so we can see that God is the source of all things, both past, present, and future. And what that ought to tell us then is that if God is the source of all things, past, present, and future, then he should be the one that we are most concerned about in life. That he's the one that should be in the forefront of our minds and really grab our attention. To him be the glory forever. We ought to be glorifying him every moment of every day. When we realize that each breath that we take, every beating of our heart, or every beat of our heart, finds its source in God. The fact that we are alive because he's allowing us to be alive this very moment, and because he brought us into life in the past. And when we realize that we are headed towards God in the end, it means that everything that we do and everything that we try to accomplish and every moment of every day ought to be done for God, and ought to be done with the idea of glorifying God and putting him first above everything else. You take him away, you take God out of the equation, and everything ends. And so we should recognize the fact that he is the source of all things, and therefore he should be our focus in everything, and that we should always be looking to him and trusting in him and devoted to him throughout all of life's circumstances. So hopefully this statement will encourage us to respond in that way, to realize that it is through God, the creator, the sustainer, and the end of all things. It is him who should be everything to us, and we should glorify him in everything. So here's some things we can reflect on and think about as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.